email to marketing@PlusTvAfrica.com. Plus TV Africa. Big stories live here.
It is engagement we need to have.
Those who suffer miscarriages are never taken into account.
Members of the National Assembly are also influence peddlers.
You are sitting on Nigerians' money.
From the barbing, I pay my rent. From the barbing, I send my children to school.
A consultative engagement.
No any tangible notification before they ban us.
It's one thing for people to be at your back and the heat of the moment, and another thing for them to still be with you when push comes to shove.
I will do everything to take Lagos out of the national grid.
This is it for upcoming artists to blow in Nigeria.
Welcome to Plus Trending. I am Booking November, your host, saying thank you for joining us on today's episode.
Welcome back. It's tea time on PlusTvAfrica.
Practice makes perfect. I'm not perfect yet, but I'm a lot better than I used to be.
He's a king. He's entitled to marry 100 if he wants to.
Are you ready to party right from the comfort of your TV screen? The Rundown's here to save the day. From freshly baked videos to the classics to the youngins and dope conversations, all in one chart. We got you covered. Just tune in to The Rundown every Friday, 10:30 p.m. West African time. The Rundown. Let's turn it up.
Welcome to The Breakfast.
A breakfast where we unbundle top and big stories of the day.
Is vaccine the only way out of this pandemic?
No, definitely not.
Many Ghanaians just want a peaceful election and they are hoping there will be no rigging.
There is nothing bad in borrowing for infrastructure. The minister added that he was impressed.
Please come and see yourself what we are doing with the money we have borrowed.
It's very important. The way we brand ourselves is the way people will carry us.
It's just the driver of the two vehicles that were completely burned.
This one was here screaming.
What do you recommend the government do to support this sector?
Direct intervention, that's what every government all over the world has done.
We are not a parallel security structure. A multiple core is a complementary core.
What I will not encourage Christians to do is to carry dagger and follow anybody. No.
Join us on The Breakfast, 7 a.m., Monday to Friday.
Hello and welcome to What Are You Saying? #Ways, where we talk about topics in the news as it affects us all. I am Akanimojo and today I have super amazing Amazons, wonderful women. It's the first time I'm sharing the platform with Norma and I'm very happy. Yeah. So, hello ladies.
Hello.
It's the last day of the working week.
It is.
Thank God it's Friday.
So how do you feel?
Good. Even though it doesn't stop the work from going on, but I just feel good it's Friday.
Yeah, in fact,
I feel relieved it's Friday.
Yeah. Although I know that it will make a difference.
Yeah, I think it's a psychological thing. Just say yay, but it's not.
Because you don't have to wake up. You don't have to wake up very early tomorrow to go about work. So it does make a difference.
Oh, but some of us will still have like some Zoom meetings going on.
You're right.
And so there's really no break. But just the psychological feeling that it's Friday.
It helps us to have a break.
Exactly. So you look at that psychological break. I do too. Nice to have you here.
Good to be here.
So financial resources may be the lifeblood of a company, but human resources are its brains. That's a quote from today from Rob Sleezer. As the country battles brain drain in various sectors, we'll be focusing on banking and fintech space, and Ayo Oguwolo will join us later to discuss this. But first, let's take a break for what's in the news. We'll be right back. Thank you for staying tuned. You're still watching Ways. So let's just jump right in. So who do
Is there any national holiday?
There is, but we'll take it right after what's in the news.
Yes.
Okay. So many more.
Oh no, I feel a coup coming up.
Yeah, so please no.
All right, so I have this story, interesting story, and it has to do with Sunday Igboho. It says court awards 20 billion to Sunday Igboho over the SSS invasion of his home. So the story says that Oyo State High Court has ordered the State Security Service to pay 20 billion to Yoruba Nation agitator Sunday Adeyemo Igboho over the alleged invasion of his home in Ibadan. Justice Ladiran Akintola ruled that the money was awarded as exemplary and aggravated damages against the SSS in the suit filed by Mr. Igboho, in which he was seeking 500 billion naira damages for the invasion. 500. The secret police had stormed his house in Soka area of the city in the early hours of July 1st, and at least 2 persons were killed in that invasion.
That's sad.
So that is where we are on his story. Let's see how it pays. I'm wondering if this is going to fall through at the end of the day.
I see them appealing, but then again, I think it's also a good measure so that security forces would know that you should act within the ambit of the law.
Absolutely.
You should. You're the law. Why are you lawless? So I think so.
Well, they feel they're above the law sometimes.
You're right. You're right. Especially that
the law doesn't apply to them.
Payment, really, so that it makes a landmark as to why you should never just attack people lawlessly. But I doubt you get it. But
exactly.
Let's see how that's going to play out.
But I'm sure that you have landed in the reality space. Okay, let's take your news.
What I have in the news very quickly, it's similar to we had a conversation about some weeks back about the Forex, that is federal government banning the Bureau de change. This is I would say Bureau de change. Let me use the accent. So this is actually a follow-on that same story, and this is about federal government to shut down popular Aboki FX website. This website has been a very, very popular website that a lot of us rely on to get the current rate of the dollar every day. Whatever rate you find on Aboki FX, that's how much you're going to buy. So they're clamping it down because they feel, and this is what the federal government had to say. The federal government has said that it will shut down the operations of Aboki FX, a website providing currency exchange information, which the bank described as illegal and criminal platform. The governor of Central Bank of Nigeria, Godwin Emefiele, who disclosed this while fielding questions after the Monetary Policy Committee 2 days meeting in Abuja on Friday, noted that the bank also plans to prosecute the owner of the platform, that is Olusegun Oniwide. He said, I have given instructions to our experts to go after his website. That sounds a bit like an attack. Sorry, let me continue. And let it be clear that we will go after him because we can't allow this to continue.
Is this still sounding like an attack or it's an attack?
It just sounds very authoritarian. Why did it take us this long before they make that call? That is one question I've been wondering. Why so long before you make? Is this coming as a follow-on? Although you did mention that According to Emefiele, the CBN doesn't recognize any forex market window besides the investors and exporters window. Then he mentioned something that was really very important that I took note of, which was, according to him, these BDC operators sell foreign exchange to criminals who import weapons to arm Nigerians and promote different forms of terrorism. I mean, please, hello? Everyone who buys from CBD isn't buying dollars for exchange. When you have a challenge, remember we did talk about access to BDT when you want to travel. You know, that is not easily accessible. So many of us rely on bureau de change to get foreign exchange. How then can you say that is one major reason why you're clamping it down? I don't understand. But this is what we have in the news, and that is what we have in the news.
So some people have discussed this because it's a hot topic, and some people feel it's witch hunting as an instrument to actually control the free fall of the dollar. Because just as you've said, the rate on Aboki FX is low.
It is.
Yes.
That's the final price.
That's the final price if you're going to buy or sell in the
it's
black
interesting
market.
They control the market price that strongly.
So again, we always say it on this show that even if you're going to correct something, or as a monetary body, the body that controls monetary policy, there are better ways to go about it.
Exactly.
You have to do it in such a way you are seen to be transparent.
And
state your reasons clearly. If you have proof, bring it.
The way he said, I'm going to get him arrested, I'm going to get something.
He has been there. He's not a criminal. He was not running.
Did you find out if that website is still active?
I have not, because it's not people that have it for dollar. It's not people that can buy dollar and have it for dollar.
At the end of the day, is the everyday person that will bear
suffer.
The brunt
yes, exactly.
The repercussions of it.
Okay, let me quickly take my story.
Sorry, my darling.
Sorry.
The website is still very much alive.
It will probably take some time for them to implement.
The way they mentioned it was supposed to have been taken down by now.
Well, there's still the law. Let's see if anything will be done about it.
Yeah. Akanima, give us your news.
I am about to. My news taken from Sahara Reporters. Why I won't reveal sponsors of Boko Haram terrorism, anti-graft agency EFCC boss Bawa says. Now we can remember 2 days ago, Dubai published 6 names that were terrorist sponsors that were sponsoring Boko Haram. I don't know how the people that are not living here, that they have not bombed them, that they have not kidnapped them, will be crying more than the bereaved. And you know, everyone has said, this report, because you know, Nigerian government say, oh, don't worry, we are looking into it. We will get the people. We will do our own investigation. What investigation?
What investigation?
We have not been seeing anything. So you see, when people come to talk about the lack of willpower to really fight this, you can see where the conspiracy theory is coming from.
Yeah, that's the word. So you wonder why they are dragging their foot on activating something that is so critical to the
exactly. So when Bawa was on Channel's TV program on Thursday evening, and of course that was one of the questions that were posted, that was posed to him to say, Oga, this thing that you're hearing, what's up? What are you doing about it? And what he said is like, if you are my advisor, let me read verbatim. If you are my advisor, would you advise me to come on national television to tell the whole world regarding matters of sensitive national security issue? Power Act? Certainly not. But I want to assure you, we're working tirelessly, as always, with other sister agencies to ensure that this country is free of terrorism. Something that has been published worldwide.
Not Nigeria now.
Thank you.
International news.
It is now secret. So let's
see it play out.
Let's see it play out, and we would wait because you know some of the headlines say, "Don't worry, we'll soon reveal it." You know, but this is Sahara Reporters. Okay, ladies, today is World Patient Safety Day.
Wow.
It's observed annually on the 17th of September. Now, basically, this day is put in place to make people aware of patient care. You get, and we have heard, even this year, we have heard of careless deaths. And I think this year is actually focused on maternal health and just safe child delivery. And the statistics show that this is really high. We might be even in the city, even in expensive hospitals, you know.
There have been cases that you're wondering, having paid so much, like you referred to in really established hospitals and things, the way people are taken care of it breaks your heart because some of the deaths that you hear about, it's completely unnecessary.
Yeah,
totally that's the thing.
Unnecessary and avoidable, but yet our lack of, for lack of a better word, our lack of empathy or care. I think that's the word to use. The care.
The hospital does not have hospitality.
They don't when it comes very negligent when it comes to patient care. It's unfortunate, but it's even happening in our established hospitals.
I think sometime this year there was a very famous baker.
Yes,
also died because of negligence, and the story
is totally uncalled for.
Sad.
And that is one case of many that go on a daily basis. I mean, has even made the news because she was a celebrity.
Exactly.
Imagine the number of them that were not
not
mentioned.
A celebrity. Our case just whipped a lot of sentiment.
She was famous in the baking.
She was known in the industry, so it made the news. It made the news.
Imagine
the number of them that died carelessly.
There's so many cases, and it's annoying because it's completely avoidable.
Completely. There's nothing as painful as a death that you know that you could have avoided if you had taken better care or taken better steps, towards solving the problem.
And if I might come in again, I think training. Our people. I don't know what level of training that they have. There are very few people that actually take time to train their staff with regards to patient care. Because it's not something that comes natural to a lot. I mean, you have to be trained to know what to do, how to handle. But I don't know, could I say the frustrations of the situation going on just makes you a little bit careless?
Of the training, I think that when people choose a career path, you should connect with your essence and who you are. Pretty much. That is
a lot of people are looking for jobs to get by.
That's all.
That's what is priority.
And it's not just if you put someone
it's everywhere. It's everywhere.
In the healthcare sector, what do you expect them to do? They are definitely not going to care about the lives they're supposed to care about. And that's how come when you go to hospitals, the hostility from nurses is staggering. Someone is in pain and they just yell at you like, put yourself together, like it's not a big deal that you're going through pain.
I think
that's how come people really, really die.
Culture.
And it's really worrisome.
Our culture also encourages those.
Well, I'm really
measures,
happy that today is a day set aside for us to be able to observe this day and talk about it. When we come back, we'll be tackling our subject for today. We'll be talking about brain drain, which I was going to mention to say maybe brain drain, the nice
exactly,
people have done it. Okay, so we would see you after the break when our guest will talk on today's topic. Don't go anywhere.
For upcoming artists to blow in Nigeria.
Welcome to Plus Trending. I am Bookie November, your host, saying thank you for joining us on today's episode.
Welcome back. It's tea time on PlusTvAfrica.
Practice makes perfect. I'm not perfect yet, but I'm a lot better than I used to be.
He's a king. He's entitled to marry 100 if he wants to.
Nigeria's Niger Delta region, from where the black gold fuels Africa's largest economy, where the lines between wealth and poverty has never been thinner. Conflicts, poverty, insecurity, and environmental challenges daily confront the region. How can the Niger Delta story be changed for the better?
Join Mamode Akuga at 9 p.m. every Friday evening on PlusTvAfrica as he probes deep in search of solutions.
Inside the Niger Delta with Mamode Akuga, the authentic voice of Nigeria's oil-rich region.
Welcome back. Thanks for staying with us. Attracting and retaining talents in the Nigeria financial technology space is becoming a challenge. According to 77% of fintech leaders interviewed for the Nigerian Fintech Census 2020 report, data analytics, cyber and IT security, and software engineering emerged as the most critical skills required for success. Google's IFC report shows that while there's a growing number of software developers in Africa, there's a skills gap that exists with often outdated engineering curricula not providing opportunities for developers to practice skills gained in the classroom. Also, Nigeria's developers population of about 85,000 is still small compared to other parts of the world. To worsen matters, banks and fintech startups also battle with the country's brain drain, as the already few skilled workers migrate and choose to work with foreign startups. What will be our fate if this continues? Is there a solution? Our guest is here to help us figure that out. Ayo Ogulowo started his career as a banker with Access Bank PLC, where he specialized in areas such as information technology, corporate strategy, digital banking, and finance. His deeply rooted love for technology inspired him to join Andela, a global talent network that connects companies with vetted remote engineers in emerging markets, where he worked as a programs manager overseeing software engineers across different stacks in Nigeria, Kenya, Uganda, and Rwanda. His time in Andela allowed his ideas on digitization to bloom. Leaving Andela, he capitalized on his expertise and established several companies specializing in management and technology consulting, SME financing, and hedge funds management. He recently co-founded two startups, Pennytree Inc., a lifestyle savings platform using AI features, and Trigger Inc., an investment platform to trade and invest in stocks listed on the New York Stock Exchange and Nasdaq. Set to launch in Q4 in 2021, Ayo's dream is to build a financial ecosystem that would cater to the needs of the mass market seamlessly. Now, before we bring in Ayo, I would just like the ladies to just really, this brain drain, does it really exist?
Well, it really does exist. Okay. I mean, I know so many people who have left the shores of Nigeria for greener pastures
to different. With C.
Well, I'm not aware, but I know they're out there, and it's really a cause for concern, because if our best hands leave the country, then I don't know if there will be a country left at the end of the day.
Wow, Milona.
I agree with what Inoma said. Immigration is natural. It's okay for people to leave one point to another. But when you're losing highly trained individuals that are supposed to be the bedrock of a societal development, then it's a bigger issue.
Yeah.
Because it's not just about people leaving. It's about trained hands that are supposed to be professionals, living and going on to better, greener pasture just because they feel or they know or they've experienced that their country doesn't cater adequately to their skills. Then really we need to reevaluate what value we play on the intangible, which is really where the major challenge is. We do not value knowledge appropriately in this part of the country.
As I was just talking, I felt like crying, but it's okay. It's certainly okay. So welcome, Ayo.
Thank you.
So you heard what we've talked. What is, so I reeled out the numbers, and there's so many publications that just talk about, especially recently in the financial sector. I think I'd seen some publications, people were just worried about it happening. First, it was from the banks to the fintechs. Now it's from fintechs to away. So please just give us an insight. Been in the space yourself.
Thank you. So the interesting part is that even people having to leave doesn't mean they have to leave the country. So we are going global. Like, things are going global. You can practically sit in your house and do 3-4 jobs, right? So people are getting better opportunities. Why do I want to wake up 5 a.m. in the morning and run to work and get back at 10 p.m.? Doesn't make me more productive, right?
Absolutely.
Right. So people are home doing 2-3 jobs, earning better pay. So
outside of this country?
Outside of the country. I have friends who work in Nigeria, from Kwara, from far places. Once they have good internet, do you get?
They're okay.
They're okay. So they just work and get paid. And the funny thing is they get paid in foreign currency.
I need that kind of job.
I'm here considering my career.
Really? And just as you said, people want better lives.
Absolutely.
People, a lot of my friends that traveled said, I don't want to be a billionaire. I don't want to be a millionaire. I just want a comfortable life. I want my talent to be appreciated. I want better exposure. Do you get? And I don't want to be boxed within a space. Do you get? I want to build my social capital. I don't want to keep doing the same thing, because what you see is that because your organization is within a space, you really can't go beyond that space. Really.
Wow.
Do you get? But if I wake up in the morning, I know I'm working with somebody in Brazil, I'm working with somebody in Sri Lanka, I'm working with somebody in the US. Do you get?
You're exposed.
Yeah, you learn different cultures.
Right.
Wow.
Makes it more exciting.
I've seen Norma write so many things, so I'm
here to learn. I'm here to learn. So why can't we create that enabling environment here? What's our problem here?
From your own experience.
What do you think our problem is here?
There are plenty of problems. The first is the economy as a whole, right? Look at devaluation, look at inflation. So say somebody has been working for 10 years and they still earn
peanuts.
They earn like less than $1,000. And the responsibilities, the prices of goods.
They say salary is the child that doesn't grow.
Things keep going up, but the salary remains the same.
Never grows.
Right. So, and you can't really blame people as an employer. I'm not going to break my neck. Whatever I'm going to do is within what I can afford. Right. And it's really hard, difficult doing business in Nigeria. I'm sorry, but I just have to make that very clear. From you registering your business to
Getting human resource.
Getting human capital to come up. And once you open, you see different agencies coming to tax.
That's another one. Yes.
So all
you mentioned $1,000, and I have to check. That's 560,000 naira. Trust me, an average Nigerian doesn't make that in a month. They don't even make up to $100. It's as bad as that.
Oh, yeah.
So you can't even use it. $1,000 is like a lot of money. I mean,
absolutely.
If that becomes a benchmark, that means people are earning $350,000, $400,000.
$100.
$100 is pretty much, yes.
What are you saying? The number of Nigerians that earn less than $1, we have that don't see $1 in the majority.
They are in the majority. They don't see $1
a day.
Up to $1
a day.
Yes, they are in the majority. Majority of Nigerians are below the poverty line.
That's why they say exactly.
So it's not you are calling 1,000. I'm saying I know, but the way you are saying the 1,000, because already
I said there is nothing close to that. I say $100.
So somebody,
somebody
earning $1,000 in Nigeria is
classified
as
affluent. It's medium class.
You're considered as affluent, even though you're lower or mid affluent, but you're affluent.
Yes.
You're affluent.
So there's like a systemic problem. There's a fundamental problem, and the truth of the matter is there are too many factors making businesses also not to make money, like power, electricity.
Yes.
You get to run, on gen, inverter. These things are expensive. At the end of the day, you don't have. Then the little you make is being devalued. Then inflation is almost at 20%.
So annoying.
Right. So at the end of the day, just like I can only pay what I can pay, and that was why the pandemic was an eye opener. A lot of people just
said, really an eye opener. So some traditional people are telling people to really go back to work.
No, but it was an eye opener for a lot of people, because they saw more opportunities out there, and that's why you have people like Ayo said, exactly, without leaving there, to have 4 or 5 jobs and operate within your location without having to move.
After the camera, I'd like to have a conversation with you on how I can secure such extra jobs. I would happily add it to my responsibility as the MD CEO of Ilala.
Sure. Let's come back to saying that, you know, developers are not well paid, because now if you say somebody's a developer somewhere, we all get the idea that you are receiving professional treatment at your workplace. Let me tell you, the way they treat IT people in the same organization is different from the way they treat other people, regular people.
So you already get enough benefit on account of being in tech space.
So people would argue that you're being paid well, people kill over you, so you have very competitive rates in the market, but you don't stay at a place. Is it a Gen Z or a millennial problem?
What do we call competitive?
Okay.
Right? So I said earlier, people just go back home, you know, they get jobs on Upwork, on Fiverr, and they're earning 3-4K every month.
That's dollars.
Dollars, right? And that's they get paid in dollars. Then let's take that back to Naira. Is any company going to pay you 2 million, 2.5 million Naira
as value for what you
even
bring?
as a junior developer or intermediate? No, they won't.
So that's how come they would leave that.
They will leave, and they don't even have to do as much as they used to do.
Right.
And it's smart work, really. It's not about hard work.
No. So, in fact, does someone want to go? Next, I want to talk about. Do you think that the companies of today know how to manage these talents? Because there's a talk about human relations. Because sometimes it's not always about money. Sometimes, just as you've explained, and I know. I had a friend that said the house, she doesn't know why she rented the house, because she can count how many hours she
spends in the home.
In the home. Just as you just mentioned,
so
you wake up 5 a.m.
on the road?
You sleep on the road and in your office.
She's working.
Weekend you have to do other things. So the time she had to stop subscribing to DSTV and all those things because she doesn't stay at home. And I think maybe that's why DSTV went to do the mobile version. But you get me. So do you think that there's something wrong with the workplace for these people or the way they are being managed?
Bad culture. People, the way we treat resources look, let's even look at mental health. A lot of organizations don't take that serious. I mean, they know that this exists. Somebody is drained, mentally tired, you must still come to work.
True.
Is it normal to wake up at 5 a.m.?
And sleep at 1
let me say, leave your
a.m.,
home at 5 a.m. If you leave your home at 5 a.m., it means you have to wake up before 5 a.m.
Right.
And then you are subjected to different menaces, like traffic, security. You're tired. That's why I've been through this, so I'm speaking from experience.
We are not again.
So you get to work and you still have to sleep and get yourself together, and after work you're having to wait for traffic. Nobody wants to do it. If you do that for 10 years. For
4 years, you're messed up, completely wasted.
And you think that's why people just fall off and die. You get so that culture of having to work people till they die, like till they fall off, is a thing in this part of the world. And it's because, if you don't do the job, somebody else is going to come and do the job.
Right, so it's as if they're doing you a favor at the end of the day.
You get my point? For less. So that part is very key. Then how much does the HR of a company know its employees? Like, you run a survey once in a year. This is things happen every time. Like, you don't even know them well. Do you get? So if you don't know your employees well, how do you even support them? Do you get? How do you enable them? How do you build capabilities?
Some of these challenges you've identified as the reason why techie people are doing work from home plagues us all. It's not peculiar to those people in tech. It's a national issue that we all are contending with. Now, it's a function of, do you want to work, or do you want to start your business, or do you want to work from home? It's not peculiar to just people that work in the tech space. Unfortunately, this is the problem of Nigeria and Lagos particularly as a whole. It's not peculiar to just a particular sector. You guys are just blessed to have skills that can be harnessed from the comfort of your home, because not everybody, even with the advent of work from home and all those kind of options, there's still some jobs that you can do from home. I cannot do my business from my house, no matter what I do. I have to go out on the field and direct the production and ensure consistency in my work. So then, what we have is brain drain. We have our techie people leaving. The new one that just dropped on me now is the fact that they don't even leave the shores of this country. They live mentally. It's like an astral travel. They live and go and work in other countries, on other platforms, and earn a living. That is very good for the techie guys. What about those of us that cannot? He
cannot solve your problem.
He can only focus on.
I know. I'm just saying that.
You have a very valid point.
Yes, I'm just saying to say that the issue of brain drain is
a universal
to the people that are in the space where they can either physically leave the country and go into a better country for their own self-interest, or those that can do astral work on their system and travel into other countries. You know, the issues of this country is still systematic, just like he said. We need to be able to address it every now and again until we start sounding like a scratching record, to a point where our government has to take it more seriously, because I'm not looking at brain drain from just the techie side. I'm looking at the entire workforce. A number of times people are drained, like literally mentally drained, and people still expect you to work because of, I'm not going to set up a business and take your excuse for why you're not at work, because I have brain drain. As the head of a business. So it's a shared pain.
Yes.
So then what is the way forward?
Not the funny thing, this question we'll take it right after the break. So we'll see you right after the break. If you just tuned in, we're discussing brain drain, human resource in banking and fintech, and we still have Ayo Ogunowo with us. Now, let's hear what you have to say. Remember, you can join the conversation. Tweet at us at WaveShowAfrica1 with the hashtag WaveShow, or SMS or WhatsApp to 081-8038-4663. So back to what you were asking, if I heard right, is what is the way forward? Now, having identified the things that are wrong with organizations, do you think, because it's really affecting them?
Yes.
It's really affecting them. We are going into, especially the two sectors we're talking about, fintech and banks. And in fact, they're soon going to be doing the same thing. We're going to leverage heavily on technology with the CBN, e-Naira and everything. So we need our people. Do you think organizations are taking steps to ensure that they do something about this?
This is like banks, right?
Banks and fintech.
Yes. So banks are creating hubs, incubators to start their own, fintech, business. The challenge with that is still bureaucracy. You can't treat a fintech like a bank. You can't start like, so for fintech, there's some kind of flexibility that comes with having to build a fintech. It's tough, right? So it's not traditional. It's more of trusting people to get the job done. And when you build like a hub within your bank, and then you still subject this same set of guys to come in for meetings, do all of those things, you have to be physically present here. And no, it doesn't work for them. It doesn't work for them, because what makes it fintech? It's still a bank. If I have to come in every time to do whatever I need to do. So what makes it different? What makes it flexible? So yeah, they are taking, a lot of banks are doing this, are trying to build that capabilities around, pushing fintechs out. A lot have failed as well. But it's a thing where a lot of people in these banks will still live for the better fintechs out there. I know a lot of people who moved to the fintech part of the bank, but at the end of the day, they saw that this is still not working. I still have to leave. And the expectations are usually too high.
With the fintech technology?
Yes, within the banking space. The expectation, so they want you to do X, Y, Z. It's almost like magic.
They want you to build a robot.
Like you have to launch today, you have to launch tomorrow, and I don't care about how this is going to be done and things like that. No, it doesn't work like that.
You are hardwired to work traditionally.
So
the only way they can embrace fintech is if you deliver responses and results that traditional businesses do not deliver.
Yes.
You understand that's where they are bringing their demands from.
Yes.
Let's hear Norman.
No, I was just going to follow up on what he was saying. So how does that work?
Within the bank?
Yeah, no.
The challenges of having to catch up with or create a project or deliver
that is separate from the organizational bureaucratic nature.
So how can it work how can that merge happen?
So say I put myself in the shoes of managing director of a bank.
Right.
What I would do is create that separate space, get somebody to manage it. You don't need to see them every day.
Trust.
I just want to see the roadmap. if I can see the
where
roadmap,
it's leading.
Yes, where it is leading, let me know where I can support you. This is not what I need to get my bank to the next level. My bank is working, but I just need to start this thing so that I'm not left behind.
As technology is driving us all into.
Yes, but you don't bring in these fintechs and make them like the same, banking traditional, the traditional banking way. So give them the resources, all of the things, the key enablers to succeed, and trust them to succeed, and let them just do their thing.
There has to be some KPI though.
Yeah, that's why there's a roadmap, there are milestones.
What they're supposed to be doing.
Yeah, but don't go over them every day. Do you get? It's not going to work.
Don't write them for NPRs.
Yeah, don't NPRs. Yeah, you get the point. So some of these people are still subjected to. Some of these people are still subjected to the banking stand, like whatever happens in the bank. They have targets, they have to wake up in the morning, come and get. If I get so bad that you have to come up with something every week. No, it doesn't work that way.
The banks are wired the way they are hardwired.
Yeah, so it's tough. It's almost, I don't know, but...
Okay, let's leave the banks, okay? So we're seeing that the banks are struggling because they cannot separate themselves from... They cannot stop being who they are.
Traditional businesses.
Yes, so what about the fintechs? Because they're also living there. And now this fintech is set up as fintech. You can come if you like. You cannot come if you don't want.
But you already explained that. No, have better options.
Yeah, but what do they do?
Literally micromanaging them. Do you understand? Well, I'll let you take it.
No, but the fintechs are micromanaging them. So let's just hear from...
So what's your question now?
So my question is, we've talked about banks. We've identified the problems with banks.
Yeah.
Okay. But what about fintechs that are now setting up as fintechs? So they don't have any influence of a bank. They don't do the micromanaging.
Yeah.
But people are still living.
Oh.
Aside from money, people are still living.
Technology has the highest attrition rate anywhere in the world. And this is not particular to Nigeria or Africa. It's everywhere in the world. You get, because tech people are always inquisitive. So I work for Apple, for example, and I want to see what's happening in Google. I want to see what's happening everywhere.
So they're just conditioned
to move around.
Flexible. So it's a very unstable
yes. And you really can't do much about it.
Because that's what drives them in the first place. The impulse to search further.
And because technology evolves every day. People learn new things every day. So I'm here in this particular company, I'm doing well, but there's this new thing that is happening again. There's this new fintech that is out there. I think I can, be part of it. People want to be part of bigger vision, bigger movements and things. So people keep moving. People leave Google. People leave Apple.
So
people leave Fortune 500 companies.
We're going to have brain drain.
Yeah,
irrespective of
it's going to happen.
But let's look at one thing. We talked about the number of software developers that we have. We talked about 86,000, say our population of almost 200 people. So we're saying that we do not have enough. We also talked about how our schools are not well equipped to make people actually practice what they learn. Now, is there a transfer of knowledge? Because we have a few people that are knowledgeable and are smart. Are they really transferring the knowledge?
Okay. So, I think people see transfer of knowledge as sit down, let me teach you what I'm doing. No. Transfer of knowledge is embedded into the work itself. Build collaborative tools. So, for example, why do I have to communicate via email every time? Do you get? Why can't I have other tools like Discord, Slack, and all, to make work easy?
That's new, isn't it?
Slack has been around for a while.
Yeah. So, why can't I have, it has to be embedded in the work. I don't want to see it as a different task. So even as a supervisor, as I'm doing my stuff, as I'm doing my work, I want to ensure that people are catching up. I don't want to create like a separate time for me to start mentoring. No, it should be part of the process. Transfer. It should be fun. Do you get? And when people, when people don't get things right, take them through it. Let people get better. You don't have to separately say, okay, come sit down here. And it becomes like a mundane task again. So let it be embedded in the process. Let me wake up in the morning. I know that as I'm working, I'm learning.
You're literally talking about artificial intelligence.
And there's no human risk. So if my boss leaves, I can
the work continues.
That's AI, but you're touching
ladies, please, we'll continue this thought. Hold it. After this break, we'll be right back.
Okay.
What we do not understand, we will stigmatize.
What you can see is the remaining of the tanker that exploded.
The suspect equally confessed.
Welcome. Yes, you're still watching Ways, and we're still discussing brain drain, human resource in the banking and fintech. Again, you remember that you can join this conversation. Tweet at us at WaysShowAfrica1 or with the hashtag WaysShow, or SMS or WhatsApp to 08180384663. So we're right back, and let's just pick up from where we left, which is training and mentoring.
Yes, capacity building capabilities should happen naturally every day. It should be embedded in the work that I do. I don't have to, like I said earlier, create a separate space for me to teach people. I don't even have the time as a supervisor or whoever I am. You know, people, we work every day. So things like having to, so let's say you're trying to brainstorm. I don't want to be that person who, you know, would do this and then send to people. That is why most of the softwares you see today are collaborative tools, from having to use Google Doc, Google Sheet, all of those, Notion, Miro, and so many. Because you see, as I'm working, you're seeing it. As I'm making mistakes, you're seeing it. So I don't have to finish and then push. That's why I'm not a fan of things like Microsoft Word, Excel. You know, I don't use them. I'd rather use like a Google Doc where, as I'm typing, as I'm making mistakes, you can be making the same, like you can be commenting or editing at the same time.
So if you go wrong, they just follow you, and then when you correct, they go back again and correct it.
I mean, there's a trail. Whoever there's like an audit trail, whoever is doing stuff on the document. So it's real time.
Well, I would want to argue a bit with that, but we have some comments. I'd allow Norma to read her comment first, then Milova would go next.
All right, so I have this comment from Bissy. She says, good evening. A lot of professionals leave the country mostly as a result of leadership problems. Workers are treated as nobodies, not paid agreed wages, talked down on, and their lives are not protected. The future is not looking good.
Nigeria situation.
Can I take Yes, please.
Now it says, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Fintech is relatively new, and our human resource department really need a lot of re-engineering to appreciate the fluidity it involves. Most companies don't train their staff and expect magic, just like you mentioned. People surely would leave. It's important we see our staffs as an essential part of the company. And to sound cynical, our fintech guys, low-key, enjoy the devaluation of the naira. Is that true? It makes their earning bigger. That's from Miwa. Miwa, thank you for contributing. Please speak on that. Of course, everybody benefits from tragedy.
Please speak on that. Putting him right on the spot.
You're right. Well, again, what is the buying power when you convert?
True, you're still going to pay back
inflation is catching up with you.
The same money you gained, you're still going to spend it.
It's tricky. I mean, I'm happy that my $2,000 is no more 1 million. Probably is now 1.1 million. But at the end of the day, when you see the rising prices of things, food,
you would lose them.
It just while the rest of us are battling inflation and our
which is better than previous one, right?
So I was coming to say something, which is the fact that people argue when it comes to fintech that corporate governance structure is lacking, and that's why some fintechs fail. That while it is nice to have a very fluid organization, there needs to be structure
and management.
Do you agree with that statement?
Yes and no.
Okay.
Most fintechs are startups and they run a flat structure. And it makes people comfortable working with one another. I don't want to create like an hierarchy, like a hierarchy where I know this is the boss. No.
So it's like a team effort.
That's why most fintech startups have an open office, like open space. Everybody works. Just get the job done.
That's it.
You get the point. Yeah, and for the part of the corporate governance, it depends on what you're really talking about. Things are in place. There are policies. There are standard operating procedures that fintechs use, that startups use. It's not like it's totally blank. The challenge is that when you start a company on your own and you're bootstrapping, using your money to build stuff, it's difficult to have all of those things in place. Do you get my point? So, but when you get to a level where you get funding, you get the right human capital, you don't even need to hire like a HR. You can outsource it.
Right.
So nobody cares about bringing people in.
So you don't have extra
and give them KPIs, they get the job done. So yes, governance is a big deal because as a founder, sometimes you see your business as a family business. So you probably wouldn't put some key metrics in place, and before you know it, things are going right. Things are going, upside down and things like that. So, governance is there. It's probably not as evident as the traditional businesses that have been here for 2 decades. They also started somewhere. They didn't get it right from day one. So a fintech that starts today, that evolves over a period of 5 years, will definitely get things right over time. And it's fine that you make mistakes.
Absolutely.
As long as it doesn't cost you to have to dissolve the company and all. Yes. So yeah, governance is there. It's tricky that it's not 100%, and it's fine because you just also don't want to focus on building things and then building all of those side things and leave the main business that you are. Isn't
that the real reason why you should have someone work? Because whether it is tech, whether it is selling akara, at the end of the day, is that you want to make profit, sometimes the dream is to build something sustainable. I know that other times is to build and sell, but sometimes to build something sustainable so that, if you have future plans. So don't you think, in like every other small businesses, fintech should also think, don't you think that corporate governance side is also affecting managing people properly?
Well, it depends on the type of business we're talking about, because at the point where you get funding, where you have like VCs coming to give you money, nobody's going to throw $1 million, $2 million at you without having to ensure that things are...
You have structure.
Like, you have good structure. You get some of these funds that you hear, like somebody raised $100 million, they don't give them all of these monies at once. It's like in tranches.
Okay.
Yeah, and there's somebody, there's like a CFO somewhere who is managing, ensuring that the funds are properly utilized. Right? So that might be a thing for a company that is just bootstrapping, using your money. There's no accountability partner.
Okay, right. So there's a question here from Muyo. I said, my question to Ayo is, are fintechs even that fun and liberal to work in? We make it sound as if people just party every day. I know it depends on the personality of the promoters that drive the culture of the startup. Are they really that fun to work in? So this person, maybe he's thinking of switching career.
To the traditional companies, yes, they are better to work with. Flexible hours, right? Flexible hours, better pay, sense of belonging, good stock options. You get to learn new things, exposure.
Sounds like something I would like to be part of.
Relatively, that is still better than having to be boxed in a place where you do the same thing every time.
So Muyiwa, you can hear it's really that fun to work with. So really,
relatively, right?
Yeah. Okay. There's the catch of bracket relatively.
Yes,
so it depends.
Does age have anything to do with?
Absolutely. I want to believe so.
Yes.
There's a time
to a level.
To
a level, because again, when you've done something for 30 years, you're
hardwired.
Yeah. That's the word, right? There's a particular way you do things. So even when they bring new innovations to you, you're not as flexible. You have your ways of doing things. That is why you see a lot of these traditional organizations just die off, because new things are not coming up, and maybe once the owner is gone.
You just shut down.
Yes.
And let me add this to that. There is no doubt that at younger age you're more risk prone. And as we get older, we become risk averse.
Yes.
We know better. How about that?
You don't want to take, and that's where we get it wrong. We need to understand that time is an illusion. Really, it's a function of your conditioning and your understanding of time and what you want to achieve per time. A lot of us at a particular age, we're not really that open to learning new things. You know how much of things you have to deal with to think about how to
So what's that common adage that says, what an elder sees sitting down?
No. What the young person sees standing, the elder person
technology has messed that up.
They have a drone.
Oh no, that one was below the belt.
Don't even go thinking that the wisdom of sage is always going to be carrying us through this current time.
Yeah, it's just about it.
Time are fast moving and things are changing.
We're really running out of time. But let me just ask this one question, and probably you just go after me. So tech is in. Like when we had cyber cafes, everybody had to own one. Now, yes, everybody is looking at probably starting somewhere so that they can break out. They don't want to stay there, so they can break out and start this. What's the success rate of all these breakouts?
Like startups?
Yes.
Less than 10%.
Less than 10%.
Yes. Building a business is hard.
It's hellish. I can feel your vibe. Tell me again. There's one thing I would like to take away, though, is how do you blend technology with businesses that are not, because fintech is financial technology.
Yes.
There are some of us that need technology
that
we're not in the financial sector space.
Yes.
You have to be able to find a way to upgrade your business and structure it in such a way that you can take advantage of technology. That is something I'd like to have a chat with you after the show.
Thank you very much. Like keeping it to after. Okay, sorry.
One thing I would like to say is it also depends on the audience, the maturity curve of the customers that you are dealing with. You get, say for example, real estate. People want to come and see the house they want to buy in Nigeria. Don't show me any pictures
because what you see is not what you get.
Yes, you know how this thing is, right? Even when you see it, you are still not sure of the quality. So I'll still come back to that. Definitely. It depends on the maturity curve of the people, the customers you have. But with respect to success rate for fintech, it's less than 10%. And this is not just Nigeria. This is everywhere.
It's a new technology, so it will fail more than it would succeed over time.
Funding is critical. Funding is one major thing that can derail you. The people you work with, your co-founders, your early employees, human capital, very critical. Then do you understand the market? Do you get? Because as a fintech or as a new startup, you're trying to take new risk and all of that. The guys that have been there before are watching you like, I see that you're democratizing the way we do things, but let's see how you're going to make money.
Exactly, and that's the bane of every business, making money.
And failing is fine. Do you get?
If you can afford it.
I've failed severally, and this is why I've built so much momentum into my new startups that are coming up, Trigger and Penny Tree.
And how to trigger it?
Yeah, pull the trigger.
You pull the trigger.
But not like the trigger.
Yes.
Tree and Ga.
Double E. And Penny Tree, which is going to be leveraging AI to build saving culture.
We're happy we're sitting with you. Probably take the picture seriously.
What? I was going to ask what the future of this, what the future entails for us as in this space, in the context of
Nigeria.
Yes,
a lot of people are going to be out of jobs.
Absolutely, that's been long.
So let me tell you, accounting is one that I'm very scared of, because every day new softwares come out that you can use to do X, Y, Z.
So you don't need the human capital anymore.
I don't need to hire somebody, even though there are things that you still need people to help.
You still need the auditor to.
But the level of human touch reduces every day. Do you get? Unlike before, probably you have to use like a helicopter to shoot videos and all of that. You can practically just use a drone. So the cameraman, the pilot have lost their jobs too. So yeah, maybe Africa is not moving that fast. So a lot of jobs are still going to be here, but globally, technology is going to take over, and people need to evolve. And you can literally learn anything on YouTube. It's free.
Wow. Okay, please, so that we'll wrap up. So we've heard about KPIs, we've heard about trust, we've heard about reskilling, and also people learning the new ways to manage people in this space. If you were going to give one advice to the banks and fintechs with regards to brain drain, what would you say to them?
Well, okay, so I'll start with the bank. There's nothing the bank can do really. Whether you train or you don't train, people will still leave. Just ensure that people do meaningful work when they work with you, because people are still going to leave at some point. Let people enjoy why they work with you. Let them look back and say, this was the organization that actually built my, my resilience, my capabilities. So, get to know employees better, let them be part of the bigger vision. You know, there are cases where people work in a company, they don't even know the vision statement. Yeah, right. So, and for fintechs, fintechs will keep poaching from banks. Keep up the work. It's a competition.
Okay, thank you so much. This has been a very, very insightful conversation.
Indeed. Thank you.
Now, Waves was birthed from the need to inform, inspire, influence lives towards action. And this year, we started our CSR focus on curbing unemployment in Nigeria. If you're a company, please partner with us by allocating internship slots. And if you are a job seeker, keep watching Waves and follow us on all our social media handles. This will be an all year round engagement. So tell a friend and keep all eyes on Waves. In case you miss it, here's today's quote. Financial resources may be the lifeblood of a company, but human resources are its brains, from Rob Sleezer. See you next time on this channel when we bring another great conversation to your screen. Ciao.
Ciao.
Bye.
And now, let's join ace broadcaster